Let's talk about the incredibly complicated social structure of clownfish. There are multiple species of clownfish found largely in the tropical areas of the Indo-Pacific Ocean. They're rather well known for the bright colors and the mutualistic relationship with the stinging sea anemones that they live in. However, they have quite an interesting social structure to them with a very fascinating and kind of aggressive dominance hierarchy. So clownfish typically are a social species, and the number of clownfish that live in one area typically depend on the size of the anemone that they live in and around. The larger the anemone, the more clownfish it can fit, so the more clownfish live there. Now, in regards to clownfish hierarchy, size does matter. The dominant individual is the largest fish in the entire social group, and that fish is the dominant female in charge of everybody else. The second in command is the next largest individual, and that individual is the dominant male. He's second in command, and he is the one that does all of the mating and breeding with the dominant female. All of the other individuals in the social group are non-breeding individuals, so they don't mate at all. They just kind of hang out and let the dominant pair do all of the reproduction. All well and good, it's whatever. But what's really interesting is when one of the individuals in the dominant pair dies and the next in line is determined. It's quite a bit easier when the dominant male dies, because then just the next largest individual in the non-breeding group, they will transition into a breeding male and then just continue on as before. The largest male dies and is replaced by the next largest male, no problem there. However, what's more interesting is what happens when the dominant female dies, because you can't just have the next largest female take her place, because there are no next largest females, because all clownfish are born male. Every other non-breeding individual in the entire clownfish group is a male. There is only one female in the entire social group of the clownfish, and she is the one that is in charge of pretty much everything. So what ends up happening is the dominant male, formerly second in command, second largest clownfish in the group, he will just transition over to female and become the new dominant female. Then the next largest fish in the group, formerly third in command, will move up a step and become the new dominant male, and they will become the new breeding pair. And then the social structure just goes back to normal. One female who was formerly the male second in command and has done a little switcheroo over to female, she's now in charge of everything. And the former third in command, the third largest fish in the entire social group, has moved up a spot and now gets to breed with the former male, former second in command, now dominant female clownfish. Now, this isn't 100% always the case. Depending on how many fish there are in a social group, there might not even be that many non-breeding individuals. Sometimes it's just the dominant pair that lives together in the anemone, goodness gracious. In which case, I'm not entirely sure what happens. I don't know if they just leave and find a new anemone or with other clownfish, or if they just live out their lives as a lonely widower. But anyways, this whole process is called protandrous hermaphrodism, where again, every individual is born male and occasionally will later transition to a female if the situation demands it. This results in just an entire change in gene expression. New genes are being expressed and some old genes are being shut off. The testes of the former dominant male, they just kind of disintegrate and then form ovaries instead, and in the non-breeding individual, the testes will develop fully and allow more breeding to occur. The circle of life continues on, and we get more clownfish.